I have to apologize. I haven't gone through the prepared speech. So I'll just say what I believe about the customs. Firstly, I made sure I give the Ministry of Finance to a lady. This is to exploit the cultural behavior of all Nigerians. Once ladies are in charge, people feel too big to go to ladies. So I'm sure peace will be allowed in the Ministry of Finance, where people will go and start lobbying for their contracts to be paid and so on and so forth. So they will feel too big to go to a lady. So I put a lady in charge. That gave me a lot of peace. And as for Colonel Hamid Ali, to ask him to be in charge of customs, no matter what people said about late Sani Abacha, may his soul rest in peace. He was a colleague in the military. I knew him very well. When somehow he became the president of this country, or the head of state, the biggest problematic area is virtually centered around Kaduna. So he picked Colonel Hamid Ali and dumped the problem on him. So my decision to get Colonel Hamid Ali to come to Customs is a deliberate one. He set on us in Kaduna State. I had to move to Kaduna State from Kaduna State because from detention I went back home, and we were under Kaduna State. Not Kaduna. Kaduna State was not on the political scene then. But for the education and health of my family, this typical African SS, sickle cell anemia. I lost my first two children, a girl, Zuleha, and Musa, my first child. I lost them because of SS. We didn't know about it here, technically, although we are vulnerable to it, the Africans, generally. So I had to move to Kaduna, mainly for the education and health care of my children, although I was in retirement. I deliberately refused to improve on my infrastructure, the house I had in Daura and the one in Kaduna, so that those who want to make trouble for me will have much less source of trouble causing problem. I didn't build a house, I didn't build a school, I already said it, I haven't got 1 square inch outside Nigeria. So those who are following Nigerian leadership to condemn them on misappropriation and misbehavior, they will have a problem with me. I think Colonel Hamid Ali, to make sure that I have peace in my mind, I again brought him here. Please note that from Lake Chad to Benin is more than 1,600 kilometers. Only God can effectively guard that border. So you need a person who will have the energy and the competence to effectively supervise. And I deliberately closed the borders because knowing Nigerians, they order rice and give some Niger address, and then they bring the rice here. And with our land and our potentialities, we thank God, Nigeria is favored. We have people, we have land, we have weather. How many nations are so lucky as Nigeria in the world? Very few nations are as lucky as we are. We thank God for that. So closing that border, 1,600 kilometers, more than that, from Lake Chad to Benin. And Nigeria insists that they have to impress their neighbors and other people that they eat foreign rice. I said, no rice. You either you eat what you grow what you eat, or you die. I think I tried to make my point. And later, Nigeria appreciated it because it provides more jobs. People go back to the land. We have the land, and we produce what we eat. Let whoever grow excess rice eat his own rice or sell it somewhere else, but not to Nigeria. And for people who think that our neighbors can be a nuisance, okay, there's nothing you can do with our neighbor. That was why when I became the head of state, of the president, my first visit was to Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. Because neighborhood based on personal and national issue is very important. If you don't secure the confidence and cooperation of your neighbor, you are in trouble. If you are not in trouble, your children and grandchildren will be in trouble. So it's very good. I established the relationship with my neighbors. I said this, a few things about my personal belief, because I have only 6 more days to go. And I try to plan to be as far away from Abuja as possible. And thank goodness I came from an area which is farthest away from Abuja. I said, if anybody force move, I establish good relationship with my neighbors. The Nigerian people will defend me. Thank you very much.